Peekaboo. Hello, everybody. Hoping everyone is chipper today as we enter into this day. Yes. Whew. Man. Yeah, I took some notes today. Yeah. It's one of those days. You just have one of those days. One of those days. That's what it is. Just one of those days. And it's thought patterns and all of that that's all happening. So welcome everybody. Thank you. Big shout out and thank you to all who have supported the auction. Not only this year but in years gone by, and thank you so much for doing that. I have workshops and readings that are on the auction. I remember, and days gone by, I used to be shipping out like stuff every single day. I had Christmas packages, which was great and it was a lot of fun. But it was a huge lesson learned in my one hair, in learning about postage and how much it costs to send things. And I think I ended up um, paying out more than I was getting in on that one. I was just like, oh, okay. I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I know a lot of people enjoyed the gifts that they received, that they got during that time. But now it's just readings and workshops. So those are up on the auction block, and I there's a few items that are already up. I will put the evening reading with me, and it is going to be one that I'm going to have. I want to have it in the evening, and it's going to be about an hour and a half. You and I have a chit chat on how your year's gone, looking at some of the goals that you want to put towards the new year, and put it out there. So thank you. So for those who are just joining me and wondering who I am and what is she talking about, my name's Mary June Tracy, and I'm a psychic medium, spiritual love life coach, coming to you with the 411 of the Cosmic Highway. And we're on a forward journey, and this is where this is what the energies are bringing in today. A little chaos, but it's about thought patterns. How are you thinking? Making things happen and really getting to what I want. So this is there's just this is one sort of energy that's coming in, one of many energy, but kind of having the same flow with it, shall I say? And the big test is to accept new roads that are coming in, and it's different ways that are going to open up our eyes and our desires. So different roads opening up our eyes and our desires with new thought patterns. And this is where it's showing that with that Mercury squaring Neptune, we don't want to get lost in illusions. We don't want to get lost out there in some cray kind of stuff, right? Especially with the outer planets. And the thing is, the other part that's coming in is that with Mercury, God bless Mercury, in Sagittarius, and he's going to say things. Things are going to get said, you know? And then we have that Neptune energy that comes in too. And working up to a Mars squared Jupiter and with the moon. And so you're going to be emotional. And some of this might be emotionally crushing. And especially if your ego wants it to look a certain way, or you want things to experience it in a certain way. And we're seeing it out there within the world. We're probably seeing it within your own world. I know I am. Um, where people get upset because you stand up for what you believe in, or you stand up, and they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to cause the scene. They don't want you to say anything. And they use words like, oh, they're trespassing, or they're doing this. And it's like, man, this is a really fabulous time on learning the laws and learning what our rights are. And this is all especially because, our egos are going to be feeling crushed. And And we want to be open to more infinite possibilities. And we want to, uh, you know, be open to the random information that comes in from the universe and that around us. And the sun is in good aspects to the moon. And this is a positive, there's a positive underlying energy here, but the ego is coming in, and the ego's coming in very strongly. And this is where things can get really fucked up with the ego, and really having our ego in check. And Venus is just so close to Pluto, and coming so close to Pluto, that 1 degree, and a lot of trying to be revealed, and how we're able to script things, how we're able to say things, and the different ways to go in a new direction. And that's what we want to do. It's like we really want to redirect. We really want to um allow ourselves to accept the different ways things can go, and to watch the thought patterns, because ego's coming in. So there's big thoughts, new ideas that are coming in. So watch those ideas. You might hear something from somebody else. You might get an inspiration, or an idea comes in, and you write it down. So there this energy that's coming in, and the moon is going to go void off course, and then go into Pisces, which is going to just add into more emotion. And also with the square two that's coming up with Mars. So it's detaching sometimes from the bigger picture, and taking a step back from the bigger picture. I know right now with the energies in there, feeling that passion, that emotion is coming in with it. So at times it's very difficult to step back. And what people say today, they mean it. They mean it. Eris is coming in, and Eris is, people are gonna say things, and you may get hurt, or it's like they're saying something, and you are feeling, yeah, you're feeling hurt because what they're saying is mean. And their meanness is what, um, they mean. They're saying what they mean, and you can walk away from it. You don't have to go into it. Um But I can feel like, and I said on my thing yesterday, sometimes stupid is just stupid, you know? And so many times people are, and this is what I keep on seeing, and this is part of the energy that's coming in for 2022, is being compliant and complacent. And here's an energy that's coming in that wants to create new ways for us, new positive ways, where we're not excluding people. And that's why Eris is coming in very strong. Because if we're starting to exclude people and say, oh, you can't sit here, does that sound familiar? I mean, we see things that have happened where segregation happened in the States, apartheid in South Africa, and how people had to fight for their rights, fight to be able to sit. And back then, it was basically by color, right? Before that, it was by religion or nationality. And now, and we've seen it in throughout, we've seen it in many different wars, that have come through in many different countries. But now we're seeing it on the world and the world agenda. And we're seeing it really coming out fast and furious. And a lot of people don't want to make waves. They don't want to say anything. It's like you're trespassing, so you should know better anyway. So just go back and sit over there, or go and be over there. Stay in your home or stay over there, and everything's going to be okay. Then I will be okay, because you're making me uncomfortable. And that's where this energy comes in. And it wants to shift, trying to figure the next shift or direction. And the sun is coming in with a big picture. And it's doing a aspect, a biquintile to Uranus. So it wants to make change. It wants to make change in a new way. And with good ideas and creative ideas. And that's what it wants to bring in. It wants to bring this energy in. But it's getting people to be on the same page per se, so that there isn't a division. And that's why mean words will come out today, because people are getting frustrated. They're calling things out, and they're saying it is like it is. And it is the value, it is the purpose of who we are. And with Venus, it's especially who we are and other people. So clear to who I am. It's like being clear to who you are within your truth and your values, and stand and coming into your values. And that's what with Uranus in Taurus, it has a lot to do with values. And with this retrograde that's coming up with Venus, it's really setting a tone on your personal values, on where you see things, and getting clear to who I am, getting clear to who you are. That's a hard one. You know, that means that you have to sit down. You have to look at things in new ways. And I don't know what this Vask Tech is, so I'm just going to block you because I don't know who or what you are. Um, Sandra Fisher. And this is where we're looking at things in some new way. And sometimes when we're looking at it in a new way, we're getting a new perspective. It's like the hangman, hanging upside down. The hangman hanging upside down because he's getting a different look at the world. And he's seeing things in a new way. And sometimes many times when we do that, you can't unsee what you see, and this is where it's the energy that's coming in, and us learning to clear to what we want it to be, or say to who we no clear to who I am. And the moon is detached in a detached way. So the moon, as it was in Aquarius, we want to detach ourselves and becoming the observer of who we are and how we relate to others. And it's the big vision and the big decisions as it goes through into Pisces. Now, Pisces is going to bring in a lot of emotion, and Neptune is there. So, I mean, this is bringing in, there's some emotions, there's some really wanting to direct in a new way. And then the moon squares the nodes of fate. And the nodes of fate have there's a contentious energy that's there, because they're ready to switch. They're ready. They're at the last degrees. They're at 1 degree, so the nodes move backwards. So they're at 1 degree of Sag and Gemini, and Gemini saying, "Hey, this is the way we're going to do it. This is the truth." And the Sag is like, "I don't know about that. I want to wait and see. I want to see." Yet here comes Mercury with Eris, and it's like, you can't wait and see. There's no more waiting and seeing. We have to do it now. And if you don't want to do it, you're stupid, or you're going to say something, but you're going to mean it, because this is where the energy is coming in. It's where things are going to be said and laid on the table. And when they're said and laid on the table, it's, are you going to partake in it or not? And then really look into the value of who you are and listen. This is where it's like, this is where listening comes in. This carries out a flow with it, and listen, and your understanding of your value and your worth. And that is huge, especially as we're moving closer and closer to a Venus retrograde. And a Venus is only 1 degree off of Pluto. So it's this tension and eagerness, because it's whatever you are trying to create or change, And what is that wall or obstruction, or what is it that you're working through in order to create that change? And this is where you might find with your worth with people, and hearing what people have to say. But this is what, it doesn't matter if they say that you're fabulous or you're shitbag or whatever. This is where you get your perspective from your own self of what your value is and what your worth is. It's yours. Somebody can blow, hot air up your ass and tell you how wonderful and beautiful you are. The thing is that we're going back to your worth, and you saying, "Yeah, I know I am, but I don't need your words to confirm what I know is true to me. I don't need your words to tell me that, oh yeah, you're so this and you're so no. I know my worth, and I honor that. And whether you like it or not, and Jupiter is coming in because it's Jupiter's day and it's within our own unique way, and souls and our soul path, there's also an inherent quality, right? Not looking outside for validation. Exactly. Exactly, Lexi. And this is what a lot of us are going to be wrestling with or questioning. And the thought that what is the greater good of the community? What does that look like? And the thing is to be honest with yourself, because and not be complacent and just comply, because this is what, if you don't comply, then you're not going to get the hot air shot up your ass and a pat on the head. You're going to be, condemned as something else or deemed as something else. And this is in all areas. And this is coming in with a sensitivity, and especially with the Pisces energy, is emotional, it's sensitive and flowing, and sometimes too emotional. So we got to pay attention to your emotional feelings today. And I want you, I am, reacted to this. Like, how are you reacting to this emotion? And is it true? And the reaction or this or something, is there something more underneath? Why am I getting so angry with certain things? Like I see, one moment I see people boasting about something that they're doing, and I'm just like, why the hell are you doing that? Like, what is your motive? And then the next thing I see, holy shit, I wish they didn't do that because they're sick. And is that the awakening that they need? Is that, it's like, as we say, you need a 2x4 up the side of your head to know that you got to change directions, even though deep down inside, there's directions that you need to change in order for you to be that truth of who you are. And that's where a lot of this, is coming in. And normally I'm good at, and I pay attention to those emotions. But today I'm going to ask my emotions with a little bit of a raised eyebrow. I'm going to ask my emotions because the moon in Pisces on a bad day feels like an orphan, feels abandoned. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. And I guess I go in the back and eat worms. But we don't want you eating worms. Don't go and eat worms. And the moon with the squaring of the nodes at the last degree, you might feel, I don't fit. I don't feel valued here. So this can bring in a lot of huge emotions. And when we go from these, click into these degrees, it's amazing how our emotions can really switch on or off. So being aware of that and being within your emotion is really going to help you to decipher this. And with Venus and Capricorn coming in to understand practical things. So right now it's emotional, and we don't want to deny them. We don't want to deny our emotions at all. And with this Mercury trining Eris, people are going to say mean things, and they mean them. They mean them. And they said them on purpose. And when we have a Mercury out of bounds in Sagittarius, and he doesn't like to be in Sagittarius. There's an energy. He's our god of communications. That's why when he goes retrograde, we're like, oh shit. And we can feel it because he's so close to us. He's all to do with everything that how we communicate in all different forms and patterns. And this is where to pay attention. And with that trine to Eris, it means it. Like Eris is coming out and she's she's had a fight with Pluto for the last couple years. And she's saying, are you seeing this? Are you seeing what's going on? They're being fucked up. They're not paying attention. Look, they're still doing the same shit. Why can't they go over here? Why can't they change directions? Why can't they see a better way of doing things? And Pluto's like, they got to learn a lesson, I guess. And she goes, well, that's stupid. So she goes, that is stupid. I don't know why you have to learn these lessons like this. And you don't. You don't. And this is where it's like it's coming in. And Mercury's also on Razgul. He's a deviant star. And this deviant star is coming out. And he's coming out to say things and to get people to do things in a very manipulative way. He's also a deviant sex star too. So we're going to see, and then with Eris coming in, we're going to see some things unfold. And especially with that case that's happening in the States with what's her face. And this is where things are going to come to the surface and more is going to be unfolded. And when we see things like that, yeah, mean things are going to be said because we mean it. And this is where we're going to come out and other things are going to be said. And you're going to like, ooh, that was really mean. Do you think that was called for? But they really meant what they said. And we have to also know with Mars coming in, it's the take action. But actions have consequences. And that's what we are coming into. And this is what, as I got my peek into 2022 on the 19th. And it's going to talk about the consequences that are going to be coming forward. What are those consequences and what are those other things that are going to be revealed? Because reality, what you think reality is, or what you want to think reality is, or you want it to go back in a certain way, it's gone. It's been gone for a long time. And getting elixir 1, elixir 2, and boosting up the elixirs is not going to bring it back. And I have to say, in talking to quite a few different clients after they've had elixir 1 and 2 after a while, some of them can't get rid of a runny nose, fatigued, like just feeling totally exhausted for no reason at all, trying to get their energy going. And they're doing the things to boost their immune. They're starting to do things to boost their immune system with the vitamin C, the vitamin D. Some of them having to take extra iron with this. So there is this energy that comes in with all of this. And they're seen, and most of the ones that I know refuse to even go to the third because they're like, holy shit, this is what this is doing to me. And what's that going to do to me? And that's part of the consequences. It's part of people being compliant. It hurts me when I see people wanting to give this to their children. It really does. Because I'm going by the astrology and with the Saturn squaring Uranus, it is showing to me, and that was one of the biggest things, showing to me how disruptive this is going to be, how science can go wrong, and how we think it's a great big thing and comparing it to times gone by. That's when people all have to not only know the law, but know the history and get into the nitty-gritty history of why they did certain things. And they gave it to only certain people. So this is acknowledging and knowing. And sometimes when you're looking at history, you got to get into some of the gnarly stuff. And get into some of the groups that were being formed at the time, and why were they being formed, and what did they represent? Were they as radical as what they said they were? They said Gandhi was a radical. He had his flaws, but we all have our flaws. They said Jesus was a radical. So this radical energy is there, and what you call a radical or not, and there's my radical cat coming in to bug me. Are you not? Yes, she is. So look at what you're calling radical or crazy, and take a second look today and try and understand where you're coming from. I may not have all the facts with things at times, but I know what I know, and I trust what I know, and I trust my astrology, and I trust in the information that comes to me. And that's what I go by. And if more people go by that in their real truth, because sometimes people say, well, this is what I was told to do. And I'm like, especially when you know where it came from. You're just like, okay. Another just a quick little eye opener. Do you know why they closed the borders down to South Africa? One of the reasons why they closed them down is because the president of South Africa refused to have any more Pfizer vaccines into South Africa. Because if you've noticed, not much information or not much COVID has happened in Africa. And the people are not vaccinated. And as soon as this new variant came out and everybody's freaking out, and the South African doctors, which are fabulous doctors, coming out and saying it really isn't that bad. It's nothing to get crazy about or shut your borders down. And then Pfizer said, well, here, we're going to ship you a new vaccine. And they said, no, we don't need it. Amazing how a big corporation can take control. So this is what I want people to be aware of. This is part of where the energy is coming in. This is where, the walls are coming down and things are getting shook up. And that little deviant star with Mercury is not exactly a good thing. It can cause a lot of havoc, that's for sure. And we'll see it within the news, or you're going to see it within people. If you're out there driving today, please drive carefully and give people a lot of space. You're out shopping today, or you have to go grocery shopping. Take your time, give people space, because a lot people are going through a lot. They're going through a lot. And trying to figure all of this shit out, and still be in their truth, and still be, wanting to be there. Because we're seeing it within families and workplaces, all over the place. So don't want you out there eating worms. So so allow yourself some time today, and even take a moment to write down some notes on how you are feeling, and honor that. And then sit back and just sort of have a nice cup of tea, and just sort of like, okay, yeah, I feel this is kind of radical, and it's a lot for me at this time. And take a deep breath, and know that you are loved, and know that you are light, and you are all connected to the divine, and that the Lord and the Lady love you. So stand in your light, and may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say, and all that you be, and all that you do. Classes and that are all up on my Facebook page, Mary June Tracy. Please go out and bid. Readings are going for some really good prices. And I'm noticed that one person has scooped up the 2 readings for $80. So and which is great because I know she gives them to her mom. So that's totally awesome. So have a blessed one, everybody, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.